Welcome to Billionaire Brown Girls. My name is Masada. I am your host, and today I have a young lady with me, Micah, that wants to talk about... What you want to talk about, Micah? Tell me.
Girl, I want to talk about relationships and asking men for money.
Okay, so when you say asking men for money, just is it we got to be specific here. Is it
Okay,
your
so
man?
let me just say my situation. So basically, I have a boyfriend now. Me and him have been on and off for the past 4 years.
How long y'all been on?
For the last year.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Consistently.
Okay.
Obviously we had our ups and downs within that year, but we've been on. Mm-hmm. But so he plays in the league. Well, he did play in the league. Right now he's hurt. But I know he's capable of, giving me extra money.
Providing?
Yeah, providing for me. Mm-hmm. But I've never asked a man for money. Never. Not in any relationship. I'm 26.
26. Is this your first serious relationship?
No, I've been in several serious relationships.
So in the other relationship, have any of the past boyfriends given you money? You said you never asked them.
No.
So have they ever given you money?
Now that I think about it, no.
So let me ask you this. Why do you think they owe you money?
I don't think they owe me money.
So why did you talk about money?
Okay, so what I'm saying is that now that I'm older, the past relationships that I had was in college. That was my last serious relationship. Me and him were living together. We stayed in we were living together. We stayed in the same place. Mm-hmm. I was paying half of the rent.
Okay, so you guys were like roommates, but
we
y'all
were
were in a relationship.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was paying half of the rent. He was going to school at UC Berkeley. That's where he played football. And I was working and going to school at the same time.
So I guess you could look at that a little different because you guys were both.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, go ahead. Let me hear this.
So I'm going to school and working at the same time. I had my own car. I had a car note. I still had to pay the rent. There was insurance and other little things. But we only split the rent. Mind you, he drove my car to school while I took the BART to school and work. Mm-hmm. So when it got down to the time of me asking him, hey, we split the rent. Can you help me with my car note? Mm-hmm. He was just like, well, that's your car.
So this was the hold up. So this was the college boyfriend.
This is the previous relationship. And that's why I think it's I've kind of
So you're
adapted.
fed up now. So you're fed up a little bit.
No, I'm not fed up. I've just kind of adapted not asking men for money because of that situation. Because in that situation, I did feel like he should have paid half of the
So when you thought he should have paid half of the car note and he didn't, did you stay with him?
No, we ended up breaking up.
You broke up.
It just trickled down. There was more and more things that I was starting to notice that it was just
So that was that. So this is your next relationship that you're in right now.
This is 2 years, or is it 2? We broke up in 2017. So this is 4 years after?
Okay. So this is 4 years after. And so, because I just want to make sure you don't, I'm trying to figure out, do you believe he should give it to you because he's in the league, or should he give it to you because he's your boyfriend?
I feel like he should give it to me because he's my boyfriend. And this is more serious. We've talked about financial ventures together, staying together. This is actually a legit relationship.
So him giving you money, what does that do? Because first of all, do you make more money than him, or does he who makes more money?
He obviously
makes more money. Okay, I'm saying it because sometimes we think we know what they're making. I know a lot of football players, and I I've had football players whose hair I've done, and they've let me sit in and listen while they spoke to their accountant about how they spend their money, and they're not making as much as a lot of people think they're making. You're like, oh shit, are you kidding me? You know what I mean? So I'm saying that to say, are you sure he can do that?
Yeah. Well, I
don't know his. That's what I'm about to say. I can see if you feel like he's shorting you. Now, if you feel like he's shorting you,
I don't think he's shorting me. Let me read. Let me clear this up. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like he's shorting me. Yeah. Okay. I don't feel like he's shorting me. He comes here, he pays for everything. I don't have to pay for nothing. I don't think that he's just not.
So he comes here. You said he comes here. He lives here, right?
No, he doesn't live here.
Oh, I don't know why I assumed you guys live together. Okay, so when he comes, so y'all don't live together.
No.
So does he buy you gifts?
Yeah. He just bought me an Apple Watch. He'll send me flowers every 2 weeks or buy me flowers every 2 weeks.
So when you say, okay, because
I'm saying physically asking a man for money. If I wanted to go and, buy a bag, or if I wanted some extra cash to do something with, I've never asked a man for money
so it's funny because, I don't have a problem asking for what I want. Right. I'm going to be honest, but it's funny. I always ask my father for money. I think that's just a part of being a young girl.
But also, my dad died when I was 16.
Okay, so you're saying that to relate to how you think that fit in?
I think that male figure of me asking a male figure for money has never
been presented to you.
Never been
so
presented
prior to
me.
16, you don't remember ever asking your father for money?
I lived with my dad. What did I have to ask him for? I didn't have to ask for money. Like,
so things like school trips. Like, I need money for the school trip, Dad.
Yeah, but that wasn't really me asking for money. It was just like, hey, I got this coming up. My mom would take care of it and just keep it going. Like, I didn't really have to ask. You know what I'm saying?
You didn't ask your dad? I'm trying to be clear. So was it that you just went to your mother and she handled it?
Or no, I would go to my parents and be like, hey, I have this going on, on Friday or whatever the case may be.
The reason I'm saying that is because it's a practice regardless. When you know how to ask a man for money, you know how to ask a man for money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm being for real. Like when I would ask my dad for money, he would either yay or nay,
Mm-hmm.
And I remember at one point, I was in a relationship and me and my boyfriend at the time, we broke up. And I came to my dad's house and I was like, we were living, me and my ex-boyfriend, we had just broken up after living with each other. Mm-hmm. And I moved out and blah, blah, blah. And I came to my dad's house and I said, I need some money. And he said to me, you need to get back with him. Like,
exactly.
Like I thought I was done with you with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I thought we was past that phase. So I'm saying that to say that made me automatically think that my man was supposed to be that provider. That's where I got it from initially. I'm going to be honest. So I'm saying, so moving forward, I think that you got to know who your opponent is.
Right. But I think that, but going back to that, I think that me being 16 and me being 21 is totally two different things. Or me being like an adult and outside of the house and asking for money.
Right.
So that's why I brought up the fact that, my dad died when I was 16. So I couldn't like really.
So you're saying between then and now
Between then and now, I haven't really had a father figure or a male figure that I would think to go to ask for money.
That's interesting. I just think that's interesting. And I don't know if that's a West Coast thing either. So,
I don't think it's a West Coast thing because the girls out there be asking men for money.
No, and I hear you. I just think that's, I'm teasing saying that.
Yeah.
But I think that's interesting because.
But at 16, I also had a job.
And it's an era thing too, like a different era. Mm-hmm. Like at 16, every dude in my neighborhood had money. Yeah. You know what I mean? They were drug dealers.
Yeah,
they were drug dealers. You know what I mean? A lot of them were street pharmacists.
High school.
But the high school dudes were street pharmacists. That's the point I'm making. So it's got to be. It's the era thing. It's the era. Okay. So.
But I think if I was in New York or if I was in Brooklyn, it would be
your mind would be a little different.
It would be a different story.
But I'm gonna give you something. I'm gonna tell you something that's real while I'm talking shit. So my mother had this thing she used to say to us. If you ask for something, if they give you something, they're gonna want something in return.
Yeah.
So it had me very, very scared. I didn't know what the hell this something was, and then I'm watching movies like Sparkle and all of this shit where the man beats your ass when you don't do what he say. Whatever. Mm-hmm. So I'm just like, what the hell? So I was always afraid of that, right? Mm-hmm. So I remember having a job at Nathan's Hot Dogs in the mall, and I had to be about 16 years old, 15, 16. And I remember I was dating a dude, and he was a big drug dealer in my neighborhood. This is a true story. He's a big drug dealer in my neighborhood. And he would come pick me up from high school. He had like the dopest little car. Mm-hmm. He did all type of shit to suit this car up, so he had money. Yeah. Either way, he would pick me up, and I'm like 16. He's like 21. That's when older dudes dated younger girls like it was just normal. He hanging outside the high school. So he would pick me up. I looked good because this dude is picking me up. But I'll never forget, and I was even having sex with him. Mm-hmm. But I will never forget, I wanted this coat, and he took me to the mall to get the coat, and I would not let him pay for my coat. So it was the message, because I just thought that I wasn't supposed to. Mm-hmm. Like, it was so my mother was trying to give me a message, but she just, I'm a very literal person, so I think she was just relaying it wrong. Yeah. Like, so, I guess she didn't want to say, don't give him none unless he give you something back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because then you're selling it. Like, you know what I mean?
At that
but
point,
she was just like, I want you, if you take something from them, they're going to want something back. That was how she spoke. So I just didn't know what this something back was. You know what I mean? I didn't know I was already giving up the something back. I was giving it up. And he felt like he was supposed to take care of me because I was giving it up. But I didn't have a clear understanding of that. So I'm saying I went years where I would date dudes and just be like, okay, but no, we could go to dinner. We could, little things. But I just didn't know how to accept anything big.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I was 25. I moved in with my ex-husband. I was 23, 24. And he bought me a car, like a really nice car. Mm-hmm. And I remember saying to him, this ain't for me. What's that? oh my God, no. Like, you know, it's a little X-File. I just had never received anything that big of a gift from my parents, anybody. Mm-hmm. So it really bugged me out. Like, I wouldn't even drive it at first. I was like, I sit in the passenger seat. I could not believe that somebody had bought me something like this.